Morning, October the 29th. Rise and shine, rise and shine. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week, chat about what's doing in the world of weather. And right off the top, brand new update from the National Hurricane Center. Hurricane Melissa now no longer a major hurricane. It has weakened over Cuba while you are sleeping. Category 2 storm with winds of 15 miles an hour. The pressure has come up significantly. And even though it is still a nasty hurricane and our friends on the eastern half of Cuba dealing with a nasty, nasty morning, at least it is moving at a faster clip, moving to the northeast now at 14 miles an hour. Its second landfall was this morning in Cuba with winds of 125 miles an hour. Next up, it pulls away from that island and moves on to the next island. It is heading toward the Bahamas later this afternoon and this evening, and then eventually makes its way over to very near Bermuda. Does not look like it will make a direct hit on Bermuda, but at least it's heading in that general direction. All right. So that's the very latest when it comes to Hurricane Melissa. In terms of rain opportunities, for Cuba, the rain opportunities come down little bit by little bit because it's moving faster and faster and faster. That's the good news. But the European model does show in orange for parts of the Bahamas an additional 3 to 6 inches of rain to fall on the Bahamas. So heavy rainfall certainly still ahead. Melissa is not done and over with. The storm system is still going to be an impactful thing. We still have hurricane warnings in effect for the Bahamas as hurricane conditions are expected there over the next 24 hours' time, and then eventually it'll move on out to sea. No tropical storm or hurricane advisories in play for the peninsula or for the United States. This is not and will not be a United States system, which is certainly good news. Problem, though, is that it was very much a Caribbean system, and this was one for the record books. It was a remarkably powerful storm. When we talk about winds, look at this, okay? Hurricane Melissa, second strongest hurricane in the Atlantic basin ever. Period. Paragraph. End of story. Melissa had sustained winds at landfall, mind you, of 185 miles an hour. That ties the Labor Day hurricane of 1935, Hurricane Gilbert, Hurricane Wilma at its peak, Hurricane Dorian at its peak. Hurricane Melissa was an incredible storm. Then we look at pressure, another way to measure hurricanes. And here's an interesting stat for you, okay? Melissa's pressure was 892 millibars at landfall. There were only two hurricanes that had ever measured lower, okay? Take a look. Gilbert, 888 millibars, not at landfall. Wilma, 882 millibars, not at landfall. I remember that Wilma one like it was yesterday. I remember reading the recon data from the hurricane hunters. So top three hurricane in terms of both pressure and wind ever recorded in the Atlantic basin. But when we look at landfall stats, this to me is the wildest. Lowest pressure ever at landfall, tied with the 1935 Labor Day hurricane in the Keys. And in terms of winds, second strongest ever recorded, tied with Hurricane Dorian in the Bahamas. Wow. 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 What a storm it was. I have, to be honest, I was in parent mode yesterday. Kids had trunk or treat, so I was kind of focused on them this yesterday afternoon. So I haven't gotten a chance to really dive into what has happened down in Jamaica. And if any of you have heard anything, I'd be curious to hear what you've heard. I hope that everybody was able to be safe on the west side of the island where the weather was the worst. I just hope so much so. Um, and it does sound like it has taken a death toll in Caribbean islands from Haiti back over to Jamaica. I just hope that that number does not climb. That's my biggest worry. Diane says prayers for recovery for all affected. Cannot imagine. I can't either. The fact that the hurricane hunters had to zippity doo dah out of there because their C-130 Hercules was beat up so badly, and then the P-3 Orion, same thing, speaks volumes to the way that that ride must have been. You know what I mean? Mm. Priscilla. Should they leave if possible? The location is Key West Turk Strait. Okay, Priscilla, I need you to make a complete statement because I'm getting a piece of it. I did not see the other one. Try again, all right, and we can have that conversation. All right. Terry says tons of pictures and video. Horrible. You knew it was going to be horrible video, but I'm hoping that everyone's okay. Eh, We can all rebuild. Okay, we can all rebuild. They can rebuild. Everybody can rebuild. All right. Victoria says, my sister-in-law has not been able to hear from her family yet. We're guessing cell phone towers are down. I'm sure power, cell phones, everything's just a mess down there. Dan's asking, what islands in the Bahamas are in the path of the storm? Yeah, so let me do this. I'm going to dial up our future cast. Give me a few seconds to get this turned around here. Give me a few seconds. All right. And I'm going to push this here and labels. And let me turn off some of these panels. A few seconds to turn those off. All right, and plot, turn the plot off. All right, I think we're good here. Okay. Oh, I need to turn the labels on. Bear with me a few seconds here. There we go. All right. Do that. Do that. Okay, perfect. And, bear with. Okay. All right. All right. So here's kind of an idea as we're getting into the behind. You know what? Let me just delete all these camera keyframes. Bear with me. That way I can track it as it's moving along. Stand by. Okay. All right. So pulls away from Cuba. Okay. And then here we are into the Bahamas. Right. All right. So Snug Corner, Duncantown, Albertown. Right. We're starting to see the hurricane conditions picking up there. Okay. Clarencetown. These are all communities in the Bahamas. Now, our futurecast does show the storm getting stronger as it approaches the Bahamas, perhaps getting back into some more powerful weather, right? But you can kind of see, just to give you an idea, north of the Turks and Caicos. Turks and Caicos may get into tropical storm. You can't see it. I didn't hit the button. All right, my apologies. So Dan's asking what island. So there you go, kind of right through here. I don't have the map in front of me, but you can very clearly see pulling from Cuba, getting into the lower Bahamas. The lower and middle Bahamas are going to be the islands that are going to be impacted by the storm. Watch as it pulls through here, right? So like you're out near Abaco, Eleuthera. I need to get those labels turned on here, but I digress. And then pulling away from the Bahamas. Not the upper Bahamas. So we're not talking about Nassau. We're not talking about Grand Bahama. We're not talking about the islands that are closer to Florida. This is not going to be a closer to Florida thing. All right. Let's see here. I've also seen what is probably AI generated images. I've seen a lot of AI generated images with this. That's terrible to me. Priscilla, my brother's honeymoon located Turks and Caicos. Don't need to worry about it. Turks and Caicos are removed from the worst of the weather. It may get a little gusty, but it's that should be fine. All right. We'll have to watch Beverly and see how it plays out, right? Yeah. Guy, I also saw where one hospital lost its roof. I did see that. I also saw an AI image talking about another hospital, but AI is going to prove to be one of the most difficult things um, when it comes to emergencies because people are going to want to get information, but the problem is they're not going to get genuine data. You're going to have to trust your sources. And so I will say I have not had time to really get through the information. So I'm not going to present you any imagery because I haven't had time to check and see um, whether or not images that I have seen are AI. So I don't want to do that. Betty says 4 hospitals had major damage so far. Yeah. Yeah. Colleen says, sitting in a parking lot in Ocala, there's people walking around from a church, and we are all praying for the area hit. Wow. Yeah, it's true. All right, so that's kind of where we're at with Melissa. Matt says, I saw AI images of damage in Mount Dora from Sunday's flood, garbage and awful, people post and believe it. Well, that's the struggle. How do we trust AI? You don't trust AI. It's how do you trust what you're looking at? And that, I think, is the difficult part. Um, because AI is so prevalent, in these emergency situations. And I'm amazed at people that are generating this. But I shouldn't be. I shouldn't be. The world we live in, you have to trust is earned, and to keep trust is not easy. That's very, very important. Yeah, yeah. Very, very important. All right. So that's Melissa right now. Do want to take a look kind of longer range on the computer models, because there was some indication, the first couple of days of November, of something else trying to get going. So I do want to take a look at it and see what's doing. And watch here, little something coming off the coast of Texas, hanging around the northern Gulf. Right? You see there's some tropical mischief, perhaps, or at least just some stormy weather, right? That's the GFS showing something popping out, just sitting and perhaps doing something. All right, that's the current run of the GFS. Let's look at the European. There goes Melissa. Little something off the coast of Louisiana there, right? Now, the last run didn't have it. The current run has it. So definitely something to watch there. Let's look at the Euro AI. A little something hanging out and then moving in. So, could we see a little sneaky tropical deal there? Perhaps. Are you going to see somebody hyping about this on social media? More than likely. Tropical trouble. Okay, got it. Something to watch. I think tone is so important in delivering the weather, right? Matt's asking if the Madden-Julian oscillation is in phase then. That's a good question. Let's take a look and see. Let's zoom in to... there's a narrow window right in there. Yeah, around November 5th for the Madden-Julian oscillation to go in phase. There's a narrow window, but it's there. So it's a potential. It's definitely a possibility. So, okay. All right, we'll watch and see how that plays out. Let's look at the ensembles. Oh, I need to get my next weather hit set up for TV, don't I? All right, let's get the ensembles dialed up here. All right, so there's some ensemble support. Maybe not something necessarily so the deterministic models are showing something from Texas. Weather Center, Roger. The ensembles are showing a little more of a signal from the Caribbean. So kind of interesting. All right, let's look at the European ensemble. There's Melissa. Euro is not really doing much there. Yeah, so the Euro is a little more in line with its deterministic member. Let's hold that thought on the tropical kind of longer term stuff. Let's hold that thought and we'll revisit it after I do this weather hit here. Can you do me a favor? Move the keyboard.
Right back.
I remember that from the cart. Thank you,
That
buddy.
was ABC
After
Saturday
these
morning.
messages, we'll be right back.
I still can't get over you were Fonzie. The Fonz. Hey, for Halloween.
What a
Did you tell?
loser.
Did you tell?
They,
Coffee Talk?
they know I'm a loser.
You're not a loser. I love it though.
But
But
they know.
but it was a show from the 70s that you were like as a kid, like, okay, and at 8:17, we are following this storm because it is so powerful.
Right.
Still, even seeing it
Yeah.
downgraded to Category 3 status here.
Right. And just in the last couple of minutes was downgraded to Category 2 status as it gradually pulls away from Cuba and works into the Bahamas. But we're still talking about hurricane conditions in the
Yeah.
Bahamas. So tonight it's going to be rough for them. Meanwhile, back here at home, the very same weather maker that is keeping us away from tropical trouble is impacting our temperatures. Look at how today is gorgeous. Yeah, we're a little gray this morning, but by the afternoon, that'll clear on out. We'll be up to about 81 degrees this afternoon. Then look at where we go for our Thursday and our Friday. Morning lows in the 50s, daytime highs in the 70s, like lower 70s for daytime highs. It's so much cooler. This is beautiful, beautiful air that moves in, and then it stays lovely right through the weekend. So let's talk about it. For today, lower 80s. For tomorrow, lower 70s, 73 in Orlando, a high temperature, 71 in the Villages, 72 in Wildwood, 75 here in Melbourne. Then for Friday morning, we'll wake up to 50s in the metro, 40s north of town, 46 in the Villages, 48 in DeLand, 50 degrees in Sanford, 51 outside in Orlando. And for our Friday afternoon for Halloween, look at this, 68 in Ocala, 71 degrees in Leesburg, and 72 in Melbourne. So it's beautiful for our forecast, but to time it down and look at our trick-or-treating timeline, it's going to be cooling. We'll feel those cooling temperatures. Mid 60s around sunset, lower 60s, 8, 9 o'clock. At this hour, a couple of minutes ago, couldn't even see the high bays there at the vehicle assembly building because we had this low cloud deck. Sun's come on up and it's cleared it out. Look how pretty that is. There's the Artemis Mobile Launch Tower. It's gorgeous, isn't it? 60s out the door right now. And certainly we are clear on our first warning live radar. I do think we'll have a few showers in the mix around bedtime tonight, but until then, it's sunny. 81 degrees our high temperature today in Orlando, 81 in Kissimmee, 82 degrees in Palm Bay. The sun shines through the day, but notice by about 8 o'clock or so, there's a broken line of showers that moves in and then overnight crosses through. It's hardly going to be a noticeable thing, but by tomorrow morning, you'll notice it, right? Waking up to temperatures 58 in Orlando, 53 in the Villages, and 55 in Palm Coast. So we've got cooler air moving in, and it really starts tonight into tomorrow morning. Then for our Thursday, Friday, we're looking great. Notice Saturday into Sunday, just a reminder, we fall back. Hopefully, Megan, the roads are looking pretty good this morning. Okay. So where were we? What were we talking about? I forget. All right, so I've got another weather hit coming up here in a couple of minutes, and we'll get to that. Oh, we were talking about the ensembling. Yeah, so there's no significant concern of something developing tropically, but I will say that first couple of days of November can't rule something out. There's a potential to see something. Meanwhile, and I was just talking about this on the air, as you saw, um, the temperatures are getting cooler, y'all. Like seriously, cooler temperatures. 73 degrees tomorrow's data after today's 81. Tomorrow we'll do 73, 71 degrees on Friday. That's going to be cool. Man. Matt's asking if we could see the BSR after the next weather hit. Two weather hits because I've got Today Show, and then right after the Today Show, I've got the C Dub. But yes, the answer is yes, we can. So yeah, we've got some seriously cooler air. And as a matter of fact, Friday, just since Friday will feature the coolest temperatures we have seen in months. Last time we had a morning low of 51 was March the 23rd. Last time we had a daytime high at 71 was March the 21st. Yeah. Cindy says, they know I'm a loser. Classic, love it. That's funny. You do, right? Oh man, oh man. My kind of weather too. Yeah, I love it. I love it so much. This is just so beautiful. Could you just AI the weather hits from your desk, right? Here's the thing. Every one of these graphics I build. Now that dog is an AI dog. Adobe stock. That's what we had. It's something else. I love it. I got oh, fall. I love fall. I'm loving it. I got the taste when I went back home for four. Yeah, yeah, I get you. Bruce says it's soup time. Bruce, I may have to I've got my frozen I've got a batch of frozen matzo ball soup. Either I thaw out the matzo ball soup or I make some fresh tomatoes or I do both. Yeah, tomato soup, grilled cheese. That sounds awesome. Yep. Yeah, we've got some. Oh man, now we're talking. Now we're talking. I like where your head's at. By the way, let's go ahead and I'm gonna pop this up just because I know everybody here loves it so much. It's time to fall back. Y'all know about this? I can't believe it's 2025. I can't believe we still do this. Um, Daylight saving time comes to an end. This weekend, sunrise will be at 6:38 a.m. Sunset will be at 5:39 p.m. Yep, I cannot believe it. How is this still a thing? Like seriously. I love I love the comments. I love the comments because yeah, this is why this graphic exists because everybody is so absolutely polar um opposite on it. Some people love it, some people hate it. Yep. At least this is the fallback where we gain an hour of sleep. The spring is the one that's terrible. That's the one I'm no fan of. Pacific makes an amazing roasted red pepper tomato soup. So I make the Pebbles recipe of the tomato soup, which if you're a long time Central Floridian, you know Pebbles. Maybe you don't. If you're a longtime resident, you do. All right, let's do New Smyrna Beach for our tower cam here. I haven't shown New Smyrna Beach in a minute. I love extra daylight. Please stop. It's not like we're getting more or less. That's what's so funny. Julie says, why can't you record the weather hits? You pretty much say the same thing. Because the devil's in the details, and I don't exactly say the same thing. You would pick up on me saying the same thing. Weather does change, whether it's the current temperature or the forecast, and the crosstalk, that's the key. Also, if I said like, all right, now let's get a traffic check with Megan Mackey. Megan, the tone, if she's got massive delays, my tone will be different than if it was just nice and quiet out. So you kind of have to, that's why it's all live. That's why we do the same thing live, 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 live. You got it, Mr. Tim. Oh, I need to reach out to you. Yeah. Let's see here. Red pepper soup. I need the tomato. Priscilla says, yes, I need tomato soup Pebbles. That perfect. You know, that tomato bisque from Pebbles was chef's kiss. So good. I can't wait to, yep. Maybe I'll make that for dinner tonight. Maybe I'll make that for dinner tonight. I like it. Mike says, I prefer live, always better. Real. Right? I mean, there's a place for taped things online, etc. But in terms of newscasts, it's got to be live. You know what I mean? Did some fun pumpkin seed flavors last week too. Ooh, interesting. I like that. I'd have to get up much earlier. Yeah. More TV time. I don't know, Bill, what your question is. You'll have to help me rephrase it. Florida Georgia game this weekend in Jacksonville. Oh, gonna have to put that forecast graphic together, I suppose. The cocktail party. Priscilla says, "Well, I'm retired. I like it." Oh, look at you, beef stew and homemade bread this weekend. Here, let's go over and talk to the anchors. Uh-huh.
Because we went there the other day and Amex
Hi, coffee talk.
Amex gave us our money back
What?
for it. There's some Resi thing, and I signed up for it.
What is Resi?
It's a reservation system like Open Table. Stand by. Yes.
What is happening?
What is happening? Yeah, because you got free meal. Free food is always better. Free food is always better. Oh, see, Oliver, I still haven't found a good chicken and dumplings recipe yet. All right, stand by. It's dry. It is beautiful. More and more sun is shining as that sun angle gets higher in the sky. This is a look over toward Ponce Inlet and Daytona Beach shores. It is beautiful this morning and will continue to warm temperatures up today. 81 degrees our high, but much cooler air moving in for our Thursday, Friday, and sticking around for us through the weekend. This is gorgeous, gorgeous weather. Now back to New York. The Today Show continues, and of course, we'll have the live coverage over on CW18. Okay. A little bit of a delay there. All right. One more hit, and then we can get to the BSR because that's a. I told you we'd do it, and I want to do it. Watching the sweetest sides of the Detroit. All right, Drina. Good morning. Yeah, I need to get. So I'm definitely behind on the comments here, but I need a chicken and dumplings recipe, and I need a good one. I don't want trash. If I cook, I want it to be great. I don't mean that your recipe's trash. I just mean I don't want like easy chicken and dumpling. I'm willing to do what I got to do to make it taste great, even if it's a harder recipe. All right. One more weather hit and then we can continue. And somebody cough up a recipe. Victoria's making butternut squash soup. That sounds so good. All right, stand by. I get it. Oh, listen, I used to weigh 300 pounds and made fun of everybody that was cold all the time. And then jokes on me, I am cold all the time now. So yeah, I'm going to be wearing a jacket. And I'm from Central Florida, so there's that. But notice less and less clouds. We're starting to see more blue sky. It is beautiful outside, though there is still a low cloud ceiling in spots. Orlando clouds are at 600 feet over our heads. Melbourne clouds are 400 feet up. So you kind of get the idea. Some areas are gray, some areas are more sun, but there's no rainfall for now. So as these skies begin to clear, we'll do better and better. Outside, temperature dropped down to 59 in DeLand. It's 62 degrees in Orlando, 64 in Melbourne, 63 New Smyrna Beach. And through the day today, we push into the upper 70s and low 80s. And while we do end up with bright, beautiful sunshine, I am tracking a few showers coming in late because we have a cold front moving in. So let's track the rain and let's track the cold associated with the cold front. It's Central Florida's certified most accurate forecast in just a couple of minutes. Now at 8:31, let's get a look at the roads this morning with traffic expert Megan Mackey. Look at Bensonhurst Facebook page, Italian recipes. Okay, Priscilla, I'm gonna need somebody to share that recipe or that page because the problem is these comments go through so quickly. I'm not going to be able to get to it. Cindy, I should have mentioned I'm a chef. Okay, then if you're a chef, I need recipes. Cindy says, I have you covered with chicken dumplings. Find me after class. Okay, especially if you're a chef. If you're a chef. All right, where are we at? Let's see here. Start scratch every time, just make it and never remember everything. The stew part is easy. See, and I want stew too. I want a beef stew. I need good hearty recipes. I need them all. I need the recipes. And I don't want easy. I don't want easy. I mean, I like easy, but I'd rather it taste good. Like the Pebbles tomato bisque. It's so good. And it's a little harder than a normal tomato soup, but it's worth it. That's the kind of recipe that I want. So, anyway, all right, where were we? What were we talking about? Creamy tomato basil, definitely comfort food. Yes, I have a beef stew that uses sweet potatoes. You have a good recipe. You know my email address. If you don't, it's EBURRI at here. It's E for Eric, BURRIS for Burris at Hearst.com. That's that's the email address for any good recipes that you may have. Just say if anybody wants to be so kind and share. All right, let me dial up the BSR. For those of you that are new to Coffee Talk, the BSR is a somewhat non-traditional way to look at long-range weather. Okay, it gives us it's a teleconnection basically. All right, that's the way to look at it. So first off, let's see here, and it doesn't include a little bit of napkin math. Hold on one second. Alex Alisi texts, squirrel. Alex Alisi texts me. He's working on the airplane. Show ends at 10, comma, so right after. Okay. So here we are. All right. So today, so that's the 16th. Stand by. So this is November 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Looks like a little storm system around South Florida. Cold front moving through. There's that low. There's a significant low there in the Gulf. That's the 4th, 5th, 6th. So that does line up with some GFS data, right? So there is some support of a decent low crossing the Gulf. So that kind of does line up well. Cold front. Ooh, that's a nice cold front there. 7th, 8th, 9th. Okay. Nice cold front there. Another nice cold front there. Little low passing by around South Florida. The 12th, 13th, 14th of November. So mid-November, let's be watching for kind of a South Florida area of low pressure. Oh, okay. That looks like a severe weather setup, like a winter severe weather setup. 14th, 15th, 16th. 14th, 15th, 16th of November. Looks like a severe weather setup. And then another low out in the Gulf. 14th, 15th, 16th. Looks like a severe weather setup. Who says, can we start over? Get out of here. High pressure. Cold front. That's a severe weather setup there. Ooh, November 25th, 26th, 27th. Looks like right around Halloween, we're going to be tracking a cold front marching through. Yeah, right around Halloween. Not Halloween, right around Thanksgiving. Right around Thanksgiving. Right around Thanksgiving week. Looks like we'll have a cold front like right around Thanksgiving moving our direction. And then a little Gulf storm afterward. That's the 27th, which is Thanksgiving, 28th, 29th. So cold front and then a Gulf low right around Thanksgiving. Interesting, interesting, interesting. And then more activity in the Gulf afterward, too. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so there you go. So there you go. But for now, we get to just be angry that we've got daylight saving time change in the clocks. Although this is the good change. It's the spring one that I think everybody hates. Stouffer's chicken and dumplings in the frozen. No, we got to make it from scratch. You got to make it from scratch. Gonna get snow. We're not gonna get snow. Frank, get out of here. Matt says the 2026 cycles look like Gulf Fun. Kind of hinting it that way, isn't it? Yeah, definitely looking like a very active pattern. Priscilla, 1 of 3 recipes sent. Did you? Do I have email? Let's see. Opening up the inbox. No, all I have in my inbox at the moment, fall tips for pets. I don't have any. I don't have any recipes yet. So send them away. All right, people. That's all I got. Okay. Y'all have anything else? Anything else? We good? Are we good? Pets are not soup. If you do it right, they're not soup. If you do it wrong, I guess they could be, but I digress. All right, people. That's all I've got. Anything else? Works for me. All right, listen. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I'll see you all on the air on CW 18 through 10 a.m. And then, of course, I'll be back tomorrow morning for West.